What's up guys, and welcome back to another video. Gonna be doing the actual finishing of the tube front. So making a little top piece just for everything to bolt to, headlights, all that good fun stuff. Getting all my turbo goodies on in this video, and probably have a little short explanation of how I'm gonna fab these up, and same with the exhaust. I still need to do the tubs and all that, but hopefully this video will cover all of it. Might be long, probably just do short explanations off of all of it. Nothing's really too complicated to do, so I got you guys once we get a little idea figure out, and I'll explain that to you and we'll get started on. Back with an update. Got fender supports are in for that last hole. Put basically square tube, cut it in half, angle cuts to make it sit light, and then flat plate on the top to close it off to have something to screw the fender onto. And same thing here, square tube cut in half to make kind of like the core support again. And right now we're in the process of making the centerpiece, which will go just straight across. Gonna see which way it's gonna run from right here and then shoot straight across. So that'll give space for, you know, getting in the AC condenser and anything else that needs to get down through the center. Headlights will bolt to it, and just kind of overall use that in this regular tube that we did in the last video to button up everything, all the bumper mounts, headlight mounts, all of that good stuff. I did a little something. Obviously centerpiece is in, pulled off all the fenders and all that good stuff, and went ahead and cleaned it off, painted it. Just gonna let it dry for now, then I'll throw all the fenders back on, throw the bumper back on, headlights, grille, and then I'll start mapping out all the little small things that I need to bolt to. Obviously these little flat pieces right here are for the fenders to bolt into. For the most part it's done, and hey, got a little 2-story tube front. I am able to stand on this piece and it doesn't move, so I can bounce the car while standing on this piece, so it is extremely stout. And same thing with the main, I can jump on it and it doesn't move. So for structure, I think it's plenty. I mean, it's this top piece really only has to support some little lightweight things. This main tube in the front is the important part, and that is obviously braced into the actual frame of the car. So everything's pretty stout, and it's getting there.
1 minute 37 seconds later.
Back another day working on the Laurel. It is now Friday. Last time I worked on it was kind of throughout the week, but last time you guys saw was on Sunday, and that's when we finished the main like flat part up in the front. That's kind of like the core support that we remade. Through the week I've been kind of like doing little things, little adjustments and all that, just to get everything together. So far I've actually finally put on the turbo and all the goodies that attach to that. So all the studs are new with lock nuts on them, so all that's actually tightened down. Gaskets in there, it's a Tomei gasket, so good little gasket. Turbo is fully bolted on, oil line is bolted on. Use the AN fitting here, and also down on the bottom on the block you can kind of see the little highlighted blue down there. That's my adapter. But turbo's on, manifold's on, oil lines are all connected, drain line, feed, and I have my wastegate on. Kind of have to get that finished up. I need the dump pipe for it, and then I still need to work on down pipe. I had to trim this piece a little bit up just because when I put my headlights in here, the headlight housing actually hit this, so I had to trim it back a little bit so I could get the headlight to go in enough. So that's trimmed like that. Kind of started messing with brackets for the intercooler and also the radiator. Got some little grommets that I'm going to use, kind of like the stock type for those brackets. So basically today I'm going to try and finish mounting up the intercooler and mounting up the radiator. I ordered the rest of what I need for the intercooler pipes, just 245s for this side, and then I ordered 290s for that side, so I should be able to just cut and then use the couplings to put it all together, no welding. Everything's coming together. After all these little fun brackets are done, I'll probably throw on the bumper with just the zip ties and then get my headlights mounted on. Once the headlights are mounted, then I'll work on figuring out the bumper mounts, and hopefully soon I find some material to make the tubs with, and that'll be the next big thing. Gotta plan on relocating the battery to the trunk just for kind of freeing up some space up here. It'll also make it to where I don't have to worry about having a flat section of the tubs. I can just make them round and then leave it as is. All that's going there is my fuse box. This side's gonna have the reservoir, which I still have to try and figure out how I'm gonna mount it, because OEM spot was right here and that is way too close to the turbo. So we're gonna try and move it to like over here in this area at least a little bit, and intake I have to make to come out probably about here or so. And then AC still has to be fixed, so condenser, and then probably remake the lines and get a new accumulator if I can find one. But it's all buttoning up now. All the biggest things are done, so it's now brackets, the tubs, which won't be hard, running some wire, bunch of small simple things. So once I get some progress done, maybe radiator and air cooler brackets are done, I will get you guys with an update. We're back, and I believe last time I filmed I was in the process of making the radiator, headlight, and intercooler brackets. So all of that is now done. So headlights are officially mounted, as you can see. No bumper holding them up and no wood holding the bumper up. So these are mounted. I just put one little angle bracket, just kind of remade the stock one because I only had one of the stock ones for one of the sides. So I remade those. Some cool little inserts that you have to drill a hole for, and then you put them into the frame and kind of spread them out so they hold. That's what I used for these top 4 holes. That was easy. These are just aluminum brackets. I just cut them to length and then bent them. And for the second bracket on the headlight, it's just a straight piece. Uses one of the OEM mounting spots down there. Already threaded, so I was able to use the previous nut that came with that, and then it runs up onto the back here of the kind of homemade core support that I have. For the radiator, use similar to OEM, just a little angle bracket with a little bushing in there. So simple little bushing lets it ride on here without metal on metal, so it won't wear out. That's simple, and within that time I got kind of antsy and decided to try and start it. So radiator has water in it, just water right now, no coolant, because maybe I have to remove it, maybe not. And also gotta make sure the whole system's working as it is. And top of that, it needed to be flushed out because it's sat empty for so long. Fuse box is in. I already kind of tucked that up to where I want it to be. As you can see, clearance here on the tire. And then I'm gonna run it under the tube here. Still haven't finalized that because I need my tubs. But all of that's there. I kind of took a sledgehammer to the bottom of my frame here to get a little bit more clearance, so I can keep the height but not have to worry as much about rubbing. You can see there's not a whole lot of space there, but should be enough because I have these stiff Swifts. You can kind of see back there a little hint of the blue coil. I need to just go ahead and get the exhaust made so I can put the O2 in. I don't expect it to run great because of all the injectors, turbo, and all the goodies that were added on that are not OEM for the stock ECU. But as long as it runs enough for me to get it up on a trailer to go get it tuned eventually, then we're good. But in the meantime, since that's kind of at a standstill, I decided to go ahead and mount my transmission cooler, which you can kind of see right there, just because the OEM radiator had the lines plumbed into it, but this aftermarket one that I have, which is just a Mishimoto for an R33 GTST, that one right there does not have the transmission lines because it's meant for a manual. So I got a separate tranny cooler and already got that plumbed in. You can kind of see the 2 lines right down there. These 2, those ones are for the transmission. So that's plumbed, did that yesterday. So everything's there. And I'm in the process of kind of cleaning everything up, getting it all pretty and finalized. This is my general intake idea. Not 100%, but that's my general idea of how I'm gonna do it. Kind of have to wait until the tubs are in to finalize this whole area. So that's just the power steering reservoir, and then the intake that'll be here. So nothing too complicated. Today, I'm gonna get to the transmission, so figured I'd do some general maintenance. Just a regular old filter and the gasket for the pan. So gonna try to get that today. Couldn't tell you if that's the correct one. It's out of the, I got it for a Nissan hardbody. So supposedly those have the same transmission that is in here, which is a Jatco 4-speed. I don't remember the exact one that it is, but did a bunch of research and generally came to the conclusion that a lot of old Nissans, like mainly from the 90s generation, came with the same transmission. So gonna get to that today. So hopefully that's gonna be fun to do because it is not the easiest to get out of this car. But I'll go ahead and get this car jacked up and everything, and then I'll give you guys updates as it goes along. The pan is off. As you can see, I got it all cleaned out, and yeah, looking good, all clean. And got down here all cleaned out too. You can see that's all the internals of the transmission. Everything down there looks great. I made a little bit of a mess in the process, but the little filter and seal kit that I bought is correct. So basically I got this for kind of any Nissan from the 90s almost. It's specifically, like, I got this one for a 1994 Nissan hardbody truck, so the two-wheel drive. I guess they use this transmission in a lot of cars. The 240 I believe also uses this, and then a couple Infinities. I think the RX-7 also. So if you have an automatic Laurel and you haven't swapped it like me yet, and you live in the US, easy to get. So went and got this at AutoZone. They had it in stock. So any 90s Nissan, change the filter out, get some new fluid, get the transmission, and keep it fresh. All right, so back, everything's done. Transmission's full of fluid, and I went ahead and pulled it out of the shop for a minute, let it run a little bit, make sure the transmission wasn't leaking, and made sure all of my fluids that are the most important are good. Obviously oil, made sure the radiator had enough water in it, no air pockets. Transmission fluid, like I said, good. Power steering fluid has some in there. It's not probably completely full, but it's good enough to go ahead and go for a drive, which is what we're about to do. Logan's here, so he'll be able to get some good clips of it driving by. It doesn't run great, but it'll start and just kind of die off. So we'll see how driving goes. Hopefully it'll kind of run good enough to go around the neighborhood, but gonna go ahead and start it up, let it warm up a bit, and then hit the road for the first time since I drove it off the road when the front end was crushed. So it'll be good. First experience. Hopefully it all goes well.
Driving a cold automatic.
Doesn't run good.
I'll walk out with you. She's alive. Oh, this thing looks so sick from the rear. How many boosts?
-10.
Facts. This thing looks so sick from the back.
Does it?
Been a while, huh? Does it sound cool? Yeah, excited?
Yeah.
I'm excited to see it drive it. It looks so sick. Like when you were turning around and stuff, just seeing it back up, it's just like, it just looks broken, and then it comes by and it's like, yeah, when you did like, when you turn around right there and did like a pull, you can really hear it. I went back in the video, it looks good. But soon, once that, you explained that that fender's not on because it needs to be rolled, which is right there. We do have a fender roller, but won't go short enough. And it's too much work. Actually, I don't even think too much work. You just can't raise the car or coilover high enough to fit that. So we'll get that figured out. And then of course, still in the hunt for the hood, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So we'll get a hood. Smoking just a little bit, but
a little bit of oil leaked out of the drain for the turbo.
plus everything's what, like just now,
Yeah,
kind
it's all
of getting real hot. So it sounds crazy. If it was manual, it'd be a lot easier to probably control right now, just because there's really no management.
Yeah.
You know, just on
Whatever
O2 sensors or whatever else it is. But finally, so any last words to end out the vlog?
Laurel outside, maybe soon. I don't know. That's all I got.
Who knows? Maybe soon. By the way, we are sweating because we just got off work. Well, Charles really isn't sweating. I'm freaking sweating bullets. But anyways, Mr. Man took over the vlog. I'm gonna end it because we're here. It finally moves, and soon enough, we'll be able to tune it. So I think we're gonna end it here. Hope you guys enjoyed the step-by-step on just kind of putting everything back together. As of right now, the trans doesn't look like it leaks at all. Nothing really looks like it leaks, so that's definitely a good sign. And once we are able to just kind of button everything up, it will be time for a tune and, well, slowly trying to finish this up. So if you got this far in the video, click that thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, subscribe down below, help the channel grow. And we have some more content coming for you guys. Well, not only getting this tuned and such, but also we got some big surprises here coming for the channel. So I will see you guys on the next one. Later.